CBS, the game went off, and CBS came on with a movie. One they made themselves in the hobby that got at the dance, and I heard that two magnificent, handsome guys and a stupid old fellow in it, nice girl, and they were glorifying homosexuality. I mean, the guys were admitting they were homosexuals and so forth, and this other poor got so much gee whiz, and I don't know, this guy is blind. I said, and I think, is that what people listen to?
Got a panel show?
No. Hell no, it's a movie.
No, that's a regular show. It's on every week. And usually it's just set in the guy's home. And it's usually just that guy who's a hard hat.
That's right. He's a hard hat.
And he always just looks like a slob.
Looks like Jackie Gleason.
And then he has this hippie son-in-law.
Yeah.
And usually the general trend of it is to downgrade him and upgrade the hippie son, make the square hard hat out to be bad. But apparently a couple of weeks ago they had an episode where the guy got, the son-in-law wrote a letter to you. He said, I'm writing President Nixon and I'm going to raise hell about something or other. And the guy said, you will not write that letter from my home. No letter like that will be sent from here. And then he said, I'm going to write President Nixon. He went upstairs and apparently took off all these sloppy clothes he wears all the time, got himself all dressed up, all cleaned up, shaved, and combed his hair and everything, and came back down, cleared his little desk, and got his paper out, and got ready to write his letter to President Nixon, which he did. Apparently it was a good episode, but most of them go this other way.
What's it called? I've never seen it.
Archie is the guy's name. But the point is, you can't imagine. For example, Archie is sitting here in sloppy clothes, and here's his hippie son-in-law, who's married to a screwball-looking daughter, and and Archie said, and they said, well, Freddie or somebody is coming home, or John is coming home. Oh, you can't let him. Archie said you can't let him come in here. I mean, he's queer. He's a flower, and the hippie son-in-law said, nah, but he really isn't. I think the son-in-law obviously was apparently goes both ways. It's my daughter and the rest. So the guy comes in the door, but he comes in. He's obviously queer. He wears an ascot and so forth, and he uses language, but he's not offensively so. Very cleverly, and he comes in and uses the nice language and shows some pictures of his trip and all the rest. And Archie is there. Goes down. So then Archie goes down to the local bar and has a drink. And he's sitting around the bar, and his best friend, Archie's best friend, turns out to be a guy who for 2 years had played professional football as a linebacker, and who has a photo store down the way. And this guy's name is Freddie or something like that. God, he's handsome, virile, and strong, and this and that. They're talking about this. And then this fairy comes into the bar, and the guy who's with the Photoshop, who sees the fairy. Oh, how are you? And they shake hands and so forth. And the bartender over here immediately knows what it is. He just says, geez, I just told you I don't mind Freddie in here, but I hope that other guy didn't come back here. I wouldn't mind coming back. He didn't see what this is all about. His hippie son-in-law said, look, you talk about Freddie. What's your friend Freddie? Oh, he's why he played with the Bears. Blah, 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 blah. He goes back to the bar. He talks to him. He says, gee, Freddie, we've been friends for 20 years. And so this deal where you grasp it and you push forward. And he said, he said, I have a crazy son-in-law. He said, we got this bag that comes in the house. But he said, he said, he said, he's a barrel guy. He says, go ahead and say Archie and smile. And I smile on his face. And he said, he thinks I'm that way too. And Archie, yes, but Carson said, I couldn't live it. It's true, Archie. It's true. How long have you known? He said, 12 years. You ever seen me with her? He said, but you're a bachelor. He says, oh, I know why you don't see her. No, it's true. I got a damn thing on. I couldn't listen anymore.
Well, that's real family entertainment, isn't it?
That was for the family. But the point is, I do not mind the homosexuality. I understand it. But nevertheless, the point that I make is that, goddamn, I do not think that you glorify on public television homosexuality. The reason you don't glorify it, John, any more than you glorify whores. Now, we all know people go to whores. We all know that people are just do that. We all have weaknesses and so forth and so on. But goddamn it, what do you think it does to kids?
Yeah.
What do you think it does to 11 and 12-year-old boys when they see that? Why is it that goddamn fangs out of it. Not because of them. They go out and do anything they damn please, but because they don't want to spoil those kids. You know, there's a little tendency among them all. Well, I tell you, it outraged me. Not for any moralism. Most people outrage for moralism. It outrages me because I don't want to see this country go that way.
Well, you know,
you ever see what happened? You know what happened to the Greeks? Homosexuality destroyed it. Sure, Aristotle was a homo. We all know that. But it was Socrates.
He never had the influence of television.
Yeah. You know what happened to the Romans? The last 6 Roman emperors were fags. The last 6. Nero had a public wedding with a boy. Yeah. And they down. You know that. You know what happened to the popes? It's all right. The popes were laying the nuns. That's been going on for years, centuries. But when the popes, when the Catholic Church went to hell, in, I don't know, 3 or 4 centuries ago, it was homosexual, and finally had to be cleaned out. Now, that's what's happened to Britain. It happened earlier in France. And let's look at the strong society, the Russians. God damn it, they root them out. They don't let them around at all. You know what I mean? I don't know what they do with them. Now, we are allowing this in this country. We'll destroy the country. Dope. Do you think the Russians allow dope? Hell no. Not if they can allow it. Not if they can get catch it. They send them up. You see, homosexuality, dope, immorality generally, these are the enemies of strong societies. That's why the communists and the left-wingers are pushing each other. They're trying to destroy us.
Yep.
And I don't know, we can talk over it. I don't know, Moynihan will disagree with this, and Bench will disagree with this,
well,
Darwin will, and all the rest. But God damn it, we have got to stand up to these people.
Fatal liberality. It's fatal. It's fatal liberality, but its use on television it has such leverage associated with it. The kids believe everything. Everything.
Yeah,
but I think it's all
to make it respectable. There's a big program of that now, that we should be, that homosexuality should be respectable because it's, you know, it's just a status context. Way certain people are, and we should respect them and all that. They're letting like these gay liberation people, the gay May Day crowd and all
when
that.
I was out at SC, this business group, Justin Darden and 2 or 3 others on the trustees were telling me that that's the big issue at SC now, is whether they have to recognize this homosexual group as a campus organization. Board of trustees have just said flatly no.
No.
And so...
Well, John, let's look at Northern California. You understand?
Yeah.
You know what's happened in San Francisco.
San Francisco just gone
It's
clear over.
I understand, but it isn't just down in the ratty part of town.
No.
But the upper class in San Francisco is that way.
Yeah.
The Bohemian Grove that I attend on time to time, the Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggot goddamn thing you will ever imagine in a San Francisco crowd that goes in there. It's just terrible. I mean, I don't want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco. Really?
Well, it's a different set of values that has been induced into that.
And it also has
3 or 4 places.
Parts of Southern California.
Sure.
Hollywood, Pasadena. You remember Pasadena had this thing about many years ago, you know, where all the boys were out in the swimming pool, and finally they had to fire half the faculty of the high school, Pasadena High School, before you were born. It was a terrible, terrible.
Well, and then the whole decorator and sportswear manufacturer stuff.
This I
must be any good crap.
Let me say, I understand that. I mean, the guy probably is putting on his sweating pictures a bag. Decorators, they got to do something. The rest, but goddamn it, we don't have to glorify it.
That's right.
Isn't that what it gets down to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fashions. You know, one of the reasons that fashions have made women look so terrible is because the goddamn designers hate women. Now that's the truth. You watch. Now they're finally getting around now. You know, some of those, you know, they had the flat-chested thing, those horrible-looking styles they were on. That was really the designers taking it out on the women. I'm sure of that. And finally, women wouldn't buy it. Now they're finally getting some more sexy things coming on again.
Hot pants.
Jesus Christ, they're very sexy. I don't think much of that. Well, getting back to my point, I'd like to have everybody around here think from now on politically. And by politically, I mean, let's run the thing well, but don't waste much time trying to run it well. We'll run it better with our left